Can you display that? Yeah. We can read. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Let us recite the Jnana Sloka and start the class. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chakshusumlitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Sapatantikam Vandegam Shri Guru Shri Dupatakalam Shri Guru Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sarjana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sargana Lalita Shri Vishakhabitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosude Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasundho Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Narayanam Namaskritya, Narajaiva Narottamam, Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire, Nashtaprayesha Badreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God Narayana, unto Narayana, which is the foremost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with the transcendental songs, is established and is an invocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yonta Pravishya Mamavacha Imam Prasuptam Sanjeevayati Akila Shakti Darasvadamna Anyam Sahascha Charanasya Manatvagadi Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Tasmadagam Mikra Viklava Ishwarasya Sarvatmana Mai Grinami Yata Manisham नीचो जया गुण विसर्गानुप्रविष्ट पूयेत गेन की पुमान अनुवर्णितेन नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय मुदले श्रीमती महाविष्णुसाम्यामि ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय मुदले श्रीमती नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवांच निर्विशेष शून्यादिपश्चाय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण. So we are reading from third canto, 19th chapter, 27. Shritau sayanam tamakuncha vachasam karaladamsham paridastadachadam ajadayo vikshya shasham shuragata aho imam ko nulabeta samstitim. Shritau sayanam tamakuncha vachasam karaladamsham paridastadachadam Ajadayo Viksha Shasham Shuragata Aho Imam Konu Labeta Samstitim. Synonyms, translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Shitau, on the ground. Sayanam, lying. Tam, Hiranyaksha. Akunta, unfaded. Pachasam, glow. Karala, fearful. Darshanam, teeth. Paridasta, bitten. Tatchatam, lip. Aja Adaya, Brahma and others, Vikshya having seen, Sashamshu, admiringly said, Agataha, Re, ho, aha, oh, Sa Imam, this Kaha, in no, indeed, Labate could meet, Samsitim death. Translation purport by Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Pila Prabhupada. Aja Brahma and others arrived on the speed to see the fiery tusked demon lying on the ground, biting his lip. The glow of his face was yet unfaded. And Brahma admiringly said, oh, who could meet such blessed death? Although the demon was dead, his bodily lustre was unfaded. This is very peculiar because when a man or animal is dead, the body immediately becomes pale. The luster gradually fades, and the uh, decom- decomposition takes place. But here, although Hiranyaksha lay dead, his bodily luster was unfaded because the Lord, the Supreme Spirit, was touching the body. One's body luster remains fresh as long as the spirit soul is present. Although Brahman souls has reported his body, the Supreme Spirit touched the body, and therefore his bodily luster did not fade. The individual soul is different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead when he quits his body is certainly very fortunate, and therefore personality like Brahma and other demigod realize the death of the demon. Hare Krishna. So we will go into the verse. Okay, we'll go into the pastime straight away. Okay, just a second. Okay, so this was the final climax where Hiranyaksha was killed. This verse, and he was lying dead. Okay, so there are two Varaha incarnations as discussed in third canto of Bhagavatam, spoken by Maitreya. It is mentioned in the third canto, 30th chapter, 31. It says the Vedic literature describes incarnation of Lord Varaha two different devastations, namely Chakshusha devastation and Swayambhu Manu devastation. This particular Chakshusha Manu and Swayambhu Manu, this particular appearance of the boar incarnation actually took place in the Swayambhu devastation. And all other planets other than the Jana, Maha, and Satya merged in the water of the Jash. This particular incarnation of the boar has been seen by the inhabitants of planets mentioned above. Sri Vishnu Chakravarti suggests that the devastation and summarized them that sage Maitreya amalgamated both the incarnations in different devastation and summarized them description in this description to be Vidura. So we are going to discuss. Actually, it is mentioned in third canto, 13th chapter, appearance of Lord Varaha, and also mentioned the fight between Hiranyaksha and Lord Varaha in the 17, 18, and 19. There, the full fight is given. Here, the summary is given. Only one verse talking about and how he was dead. So, not much description is there. I'm trying to combine both the chapters, 313, third canto, 13th chapter, 17, 18, 19, and try to, I'm putting in my endeavor. Krishna's mercy, whatever is coming, we will discuss. Okay, now we go into this. So, what has happened? Um, so, the um, we have to understand this pastimes of the Lord is so important. And what is the benefit of this pastimes? Hearing this pastime. There is a nice verse in the Bhagavatam. This was spoken by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami. He says, 10:7, 1 and 2. Yena yena avatarena Bhagavan Aririshwaraha Karoti Karna Ramyani Manojnani Jana Prabho Yatshunmata Apaiti Aratir Vitsna Satvam Sa Sudhyati Achirena Pumsaha Bhaktir Haro Yat Purushe Sakyam Taive Haram Madamanya Setat. He says very nicely, Karna Ramyani. Karna Ramyani means very pleasing to hear. Krishna's pastime. Our pastimes, nobody wants to hear. We want to tell our pastimes. Mataji, I have done this, I have done that, I have done this. In the office also, we tell now our subordinates and other people, bro, I have done this, I have done that. And Mataji, मेरे जैसा सूजी गालवा कोई नहीं बना सकता, मेरे जैसा मलाई कोफ्ता कोई नहीं बना सकता, ऐसा बोल रहा है. ऐसा अभी हम we just go on bragging ourselves, but that is not the case. So that is not pastime. This is your own self-gratification. And the other Mataji will listen now. कब तक ये छोड़ेगा, कब तक ये खत्म करेगा, हम जाएंगे हमारा काम करेंगे. So nobody is interested in our pastimes. Please understand that. ये तो सोचना है हमको. हमारा पास्टाइम कोई सुनने का नहीं है. कृष्णा का पास्टाइम देने का तो करना रम्यानी. हमारा पास्टाइम करना रम्यानी, करना कोडूरा. It is nonsense. Please don't do that. And then it is manojnani, very attractive to the mind. Because Krishna's pastime is very attractive to the mind. It pleases the mind. Dirty things in the mind vanish. Apaiti, Bhagavatam says. Apaiti means it vanishes. This is the third effect. First effect, it is pleasing to the ear and pleasing to the mind. Because not only it is pleasing to the ear and mind, and also it also removes the dirty things in the mind. For 1 hour, we are going to forget that we are in this material. We are going to plunge into the ocean of Varaha. So your mind is getting cleared by the time. Dirty things, the mind vanishes. We are concentrating on Lord Varaha. The pastimes become attractive and pleasing to ear and mind. Because it is very pleasing to ear, naturally it is getting attractive. Gradual detachment. What will happen? Gradual detachment to material things. Now, you see, 5 to 7:30 every day you are attending. So your detachment, you are detached from the bed. You know, ये तो बेड है ना, मैट्रेस, ये कितना सुख देता है, उठने का मन नहीं लगता. We don't want to wake up from the morning. Today also I woke up very late. So because this is sukh deta hai. But now we have to do the chanting. So we are coming. So that is the detachment. So bodily detachment is already come. And you come and attending the Bhagavatam class. It's not so easy. So this Bhagavatam class you are attending. So that means there is a detachment. Gradual detachments to material things, which are the source of material existence, leads to purification. And then what happens? When your detachment happens, the purification happens. And then you are getting purified by this consciousness. Because this consciousness goes settled then. Don't think it will be wasted. It will eternally settle in our mind. And the subtle body will carry it to the next life. You will never, because in the previous life we have done devotional service, we are attending this Bhagavatam class. We don't know how fortunate we are to come to Krishna. We are going to get liberated from this material world. Can you imagine? Krishna is going to liberate you from this material. Can you imagine that? He is going to liberate you. We are very, very fortunate souls to be under the shelter of Prabhupada. Please don't leave the shelter. No? We are very, 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 very fortunate. Please don't leave the shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Never ever. Okay, because this Mataji has told, this Prabhuji has told, don't leave that. And therefore, attachment to Krishna develops. We are getting attached. Some or other. We are getting chanting the holy names. We are getting some attachment to Krishna. We are getting attached to this Krishna's pastimes, Dwaraka's pastimes. And then what happens? Because we are associating with the devotees, we become friendship with the devotees. Mitra. Mitra, that is the word you use. No? It is mentioned. Manya says Sakyam. Tajay Sakyam. Sakyam will become friend to the devotees. So all these 7 things happen simultaneously by hearing the Bhagavad. So this is the benefit of hearing the pastimes of the Lord always. So don't do your pastimes. Better to Maharaj. Our Maharaj used to say, Sajjan, I don't want to hear your pastime. I want to hear the pastime of Krishna. Maharaj used to say, your pastime is horrible. He's all gullible. He's useless. No use, no potency. I want to hear Krishna's pastime, which has got it. So that's why we should not discuss too much about ourselves. We should always discuss about Krishna. That is the quality of a devotee. Progress. So we will go into the pages of Bhagavatam. We'll go into the pastime. So just a brief introduction. How we should get attracted towards the Krishna's pastime. Not get attracted. But naturally, we tend to get attracted to our own pastime. Because somebody glorifies us, we are remembered. Suppose Panch Prabhu or anybody in the Mataji glorify me. Oh, excellent class. Then what happens? I'm very happy. I'm waiting when the class will be over. I'm also looking at the how many people are attending my class. So 20 people, I'm very happy. 15 people, I become morose. So this is how I react because I'm glorifying Krishna. The glorification also I want derive sense gratification. So Pratishtha Asha. So this Pratishtha Asha, sense gratification, glorification, self-glorification is very dangerous. So that we cannot get Krishna at all. Bhakti is so elusive, I think. And Bhakti we have to get. And Bhakti is very important for us. So here we'll go to the pastime. Now, once happened, what has happened? The Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa were the 2 living entities created by Lord Brahma. Once it is created, they don't know where to start the creation. So Manu asked Krishna, uh, uh, so when Manu asked, Manu is requesting wonderfully in the Bhagavatam, and he tells that, please endeavor, because we don't have a place to stay. Manu and Swayambhu Manu is saying very nicely. You just see how nicely he's telling. He says that uh, we don't have the place to do the creation and create the living entities and start the material creation. And therefore, we require that. And for that, what I request you is, you please endeavor to get the earth or to get the place for doing this. And that you can do it only by the mercy of Krishna. So here, Manu is the son of Brahma, but he's encouraging Lord Brahma. So this is the first lesson we have to do. We have to encourage the living entities and not say, oh, yeah. Then what we will say, प्रभु ये ठीक नहीं है, वो ठीक नहीं है, ये ठीक नहीं है, ये इसमें salt नहीं है, इसमें ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है. We just condemn. But we have to encourage. Oh, माता जी अच्छा है, थोड़ा सा नमक डाल दो तो अच्छा है. वो कैसे लगता है? वो अच्छा लगता है. But नमक नहीं है, ये ठीक नहीं है, ये ठीक नहीं है, ऐसा बोल रहे हैं अच्छा नहीं. So we should not condemn or criticize anybody. Here, the problem is Manu is not complaining. He's not complaining that the earth is not there. What can I do? Why you have created me? He's not shouting at his father. He's telling, I encourage you, we should have a place to do. Very humbly is requesting. And therefore, you endeavor to get the earth and please pray to Krishna. Please pray for the mercy of Krishna. This is how we have to encourage the living entities. This is how we should do. The encouragement is Krishna consciousness. Atma Bhavana, Bhagavatam says. 4:22:16 says. Atma Bhavana means we have to encourage. Prabhupada encouraged everybody. Prabhupada encouraged everybody. So Prabhupada never left anybody. He says, I cannot leave any living devotee. Nityananda is so merciful. How can I not be merciful? So it is very important. We have to encourage living entities. The more we encourage, the living entities will come. Very rarely it will come. Our Maharaj used to encourage in all the classes. You are very fortunate. You are the most fortunate soul. Like that, he glorifies. Why? Why? Because living entity coming to Krishna consciousness is very less. Hardly 20, 40 people are there. People have left. So people are not. So the people we are coming also, we drive out. Oh, you are machli खाता है, ये खाता है, वो खाता है. We criticize and condemn. Please don't do it. Hardly few people are coming to the program, and that people also drive out. So instead of encouraging them, okay, they are taking they are taking this. Don't worry. Please slowly you leave it. You chant the holy names. Like that, we should encourage. That's how we should do. We should never condemn them. Actually, I have personal experience. One devotee was standing one round with me. I think I told before. Manor Sonam. Now he is doing so much bhakti to Krishna. He loves Krishna like anything. I am nothing in front of him. Such an exalted devotee he is now. So he has love for Bhagavad. He studied the whole Bhagavatam. And they completely changed. Initially, he was standing one round for 3 years, 4 years. And then he was eating non-veg. Slowly, he left. Now, completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Even though his wife, his children are not in Krishna consciousness, he is completely absorbed. So he is spending so much time for Krishna consciousness. So it is possible because just by encouraging. Our Maharaj always encourages. Please don't discourage. Don't criticize. Don't condemn. You don't know this verse. You don't know Shikshashtakam. You don't know this. You don't know chant holy names. You are not proper chanting. Don't do that. Please try to chant nicely, Prabhu. Like that, we have to encourage. So your Manu is encouraging Brahma. This is the first lesson we have to learn. So whenever somebody is in difficulty, we have to encourage them, not discourage them. Maharaj always says when somebody is in difficulty, now Brahma is in difficulty, how to create the air? Where to get the air? So your Manu is encouraging. So we should encourage the living. This is the first point we have to understand. Then see Brahma's reaction. Brahma hears from Swayambhu Manu. And then he says, Swayambhu Manu is created by him, his own son. What he will do? हम कैसे डालता है? Oh, विनित्रा माता जी हमको इंस्ट्रक्शन देता है. वो तो कल की छोकरी है. वो कैसे हमको हो सकता है? कल का छोकरी है. हम तो 23 years in Krishna consciousness. How she can come and tell me this? This is how we question. So this is not correct. I will criticize Subuna Mataji. I will criticize Sonal Mataji. Why? Because they come new people. But I am 23 years. How they can tell about me? Now Brahma is not doing that. Brahma is Trinadapi Sunichena. Because he is always chanting the holy names of the Lord. Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Because he is thinking that lower than a blade of grass, he accepts the instructions of Manu. Can you imagine? From his own son. Suppose our son tells, please do like this. Will you tell? Why you are talking? You are my son. You don't need instruct. I am 30 years more experienced than you. Kalka Chakra, why you are talking? We'll throw him out. But here you can see, Brahma is taking the instruction from the heart. And this is humility. Humility, the mood of Brahma is very important. This is the second instruction. The mood of Brahma is very humble. We have to be always humble. Humility is not part of devotion service. Humility is the heart of devotion. Okay? Without Hridaya, we cannot survive in this world. Without heart, we cannot survive. So without humility, we cannot survive in devotion service. Please remember, always we think with the lowest of the lowest of the lowest. And that is the mood. You see Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayers, you read those slokas. He is Guna Manjari. He is eternal associate of Krishna. But what is he telling? I am the most fallen soul. All his kirtans are all exalted. He says, Vishakaini, he says. Narottam Thakur says, I am Vishakaini. I am taking poison, the material world. He is completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was remembering Narottam Thakur. And then he says, Vishakaini. So that is the mood. The mood is always humility. So humility, the whole life, humility should be there. Otherwise, we cannot progress an inch in Krishna consciousness. So this is very important. And Brahma listened to him. And then not only Brahma, there is a nice pastime. So he accepted. He accepted the instruction. Yes, I will take shelter of Krishna. Huh? If Sunita Mataji, please, Prabhu, you are in difficulty, can you please take shelter of Krishna? Vinitra Mataji, who are you to tell me? I know how to take shelter of Krishna. Like that we argue. Please don't do that. Here, Brahma doesn't see where from the message comes. The essence of the information is very important. The potency of the information is very important. One devotee told me, he's younger to me, he's 23 years younger to me. He was telling me, Sajjan Prabhu, I was chanting with you in 2014. Your chanting was very good. Now your chanting is not good. Yes, Prabhuji, yes, I'm in distress. I'm not able to chant properly. Please pray for me that I should chant. I never told him, Prabhu, who are you to tell me? अब मेरा बच्चा जैसे आप कैसे हमको बोल सकता है ऐसा नहीं बोला. Yes, Prabhu, I have to rectify. Thank you very much for my defect. Yes, I'm going through some trouble. I'm not able to chant properly. Thank you, Prabhuji, for identifying the mistake. I will try to. This is how we should approach towards the devotional service. And here, not only this is not only Brahma, even Krishna did that. What has happened? There is one pastime in the Bhagavatam 10th canto, 78th chapter. What has happened? Romarshana Sutta, he was giving Bhagavatam in Naimisharika to all the sages. So he was giving, at the time, Lord Balrama, who was touring all the pilgrimage places, he entered the Naimisharika. When he entered, all the sages woke up. But Romarshana Sutta, sitting in the Vyasas, he did not wake up. So Balram became angry and he took a small kusha grass and killed him. The moment he killed him, all the Brahmanas assembled here. They told, we have just given him Ayushman Baba. We want him to live long, and you have taken away his life. This is not correct. So in fact, they chastised him. And they said, alas, what you have done? You have killed a Brahmana. You have done an aparat. And then you have to do prayachitta for this. Immediately, Balram is telling this verse. Bhagavan Vacha. Balram is what? Incarnation of his first expansion of the Lord. He's non-different from Krishna. He's Nityananda. He is Lakshmana. He is eternal associate. He is the servitor of. He is Sevak Bhagwan. He is Bhagavan. He is Sevak. He is doing service to Krishna. Such an exalted position. He's non-different. First expansion of the Lord. Swamsha. Krishna's first expansion is Lord Balram. And that person is almost like Supreme Personality. He is no longer, he and the Krishna, there is no difference at all. He is the Supreme Personality of God. And why you should listen to the sages and Brahmanas? No. He says, you see this verse. This verse really makes you cry. Bhagavan said, Charishye, what is Desham? Charishye. Charishye means whatever Charishye. Whatever you say, I will do. Lokanugraha kamyaya niyama pratame kalpe yavan yastu vidiyatam 1078. He says, Karishye vachanam tava. Just like Arjuna says to Krishna that whatever you say, I will do. He says, Karishye vada nirvisha. He says, well, I will execute. He says, I will execute. He says. He takes instruction from the Brahmanas, I will execute. Not that I may execute, I may not execute, I can execute, I will not execute. No, like I will. He says, I will do it. For the killing of Vadaha, I will take Karishye Vada Nirvesha, atonement. I will do the atonement for that. So, I will certainly perform the atonement for killing, and I wish to compassion to the people in general. Please, therefore, prescribe for me. He says he's asking humbly. He's asking just like Brahma is asking Manu, thank you for the information. I will pray to Krishna. He says, please, therefore, possible for me, whatever ritual is to be done, please tell me that. So, this is the mood of, I will perform. Whatever ritual is to be done first. Please direct me. Please, he says, please, therefore, prescribe for me. He says, you prescribe. Krishna, Lord Balram is instructing the Brahmanas, you prescribe whatever it is. So this is a mood of humility of the Lord Balram. So he may be the leader, he may be anybody. We may be running the congregation, we may be running the yatra, we may be running this program, but we should always think that we are the servant and the servant of the servant of the servant. It is Majjan, this is spoken by him. Majjan Mapalamidam Madukaita Pare, Mad Prartaniya Madanugrahesha Eva, Tadbrutya Brutya Parijaraka Brutya Brutya, Brutyasya Brutya Itimam, Smaralokanata. I'm a servant of the 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 Lord. 7 times this is. So that is the mood of Kulashekara Advar. And that is the mood of Lord Balram. And that is the mood of Brahma. This is what we have to first instruct. This we have to understand that we have to. So even a small devotee instructs, we should be able to listen. Whereas Simi Mataji, Sonal Mataji, Varun Prabhu, Pant Prabhu tells me I have to correct it. This is very important. And then what has happened? Brahma understood the problem, and then he is begging for direction from the Lord. This begging is a beautiful word used by Prabhupada. Begging means we have to beg for Krishna's mercy. We should not demand. What we do, when we demand, pride goes up. Moment we demand, Krishna, I am doing chanting 16 rounds, I am reading Bhagavatam daily, I am attending this Bhagavatam class, please give me this, please give me this. That means demand. That means we are proud. That means we are not humble. So when we demand from Krishna, then we are proud. And we think that we deserve. But actually here Brahma is telling, I don't deserve. So we don't deserve. Naiva Arhati. We don't deserve to see Krishna. It is said very nicely. The basis of the Bhagavad. So we don't deserve to be in Krishna consciousness. With so much of sins we have committed, but Krishna has fortunately pulled us here. Some devotee has pulled us. So how much we are grateful to them. Here he's begging for direction, and therefore we have to beg direction from the Lord or senior devotees always. We have to beg, not demand from our God brothers, our senior devotees. No, beg from them. That is the mood of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma was so powerful that he can swallow the entire ocean of milk. He was able to swallow the ocean. He was so powerful that he can create so many living entities. Perfectly he can create. Nose is perfect, eyes is perfect. He assembling is very good. He is the secondary creator, almost next position holding Lord Krishna in the manufacture. He is doing the manufacture. He is giving the right nose, eyes, color, everything he is giving. Can you imagine how much meticulously he is doing? Such a powerful creator. So powerful. Such a powerful creator, secondary creator, empowered by Krishna. And Brahma and he's the topmost person. He's a perfect person. And it is said in the Bhagavatam that he is a perfect person. But that perfect person is asking for begging from the mercy of the Lord. Because he knows he's asking. So we have to beg. And that's why even if you see Arjuna, he's begging whether I deserve to see your lotus face. I deserve to see your Virat Rupa. If I deserve, please show me the face. So that's why it is saying so. And then he says, Sa Yesho. And then he says, the next point is very important. He says that begging for direction from the Lord. We have to ask for direction. It is very important. He says, third canto, 13th chapter, 17th verse. Sada vidata to me, let it direct. This is very important. He is saying, please direct. So this does not mean we don't put endeavor. We put our endeavor in devotional service, material activities. But we have to depend for direction from Krishna. When he gives the direction from within, it will work. If you have so much Papa Purusha, then Krishna will stop giving instruction from within. As a Paramatma will tell, don't do this, do this. He will tell you. Because he's a Shakshi sitting in your heart as a Paramatma. So he will guide you, give you the right direction. And therefore, we have to always take the right direction of him. And that is very important for Krishna conscious devotees. So he will give the right direction if you are begging his mercy. And therefore, direction always we should depend on Krishna. Now, Brahma, he can do the creation. He is very powerful. He has done tapas for thousands of celestial years. He swallowed the entire ocean. And Krishna gave him darshan. Krishna handshook him. And he told him, you are tapas personified. So much glorification is there. And you are empowered to do the creation. So he can say, no. He said, no, I will then it back. So powerful, almost equal to Brahma is almost as powerful as the Lord. But what he says, no, I will make the direction. So this direction is very important. It is always we look for direction from the senior devotees. And from Prabhupada books, we should always, whatever actions we are doing, any material spiritual activities, we should always ask direction. If nobody is there, please ask direction from Krishna within. Please pray to your deity before you, or pray the photo before you. Please give me direction. How to go about. Because we are all bewildered. So Brahma is bewildered how to do the creation, how to get the earth. He doesn't know where the earth is, how to create. He is bewildered. So he's asking for the direction. And that's how we should always ask for direction. So Chetasa Sarva Karmani, Maisanyasya Matpara, Buddhi Yogam Pasya Machitta. In all activities depend on Krishna. And that's what we have to understand from here. We should direction. So our own endeavor we may fail. But Krishna direction will never fail. Arjuna took the decision in the Bhagavad Gita. We thought, I think I will not fight. He took a decision. He didn't care for Krishna. Krishna was sitting here. He says, Ratam Stapayam. He says, Senayor Ubhayormate Ratam Stam. Please, Achyuta, please put my chariot in between the bar. I want to see. He was so arrogant at that time. And he doesn't want it. He said, oh, yeah, Bhishma and Drona, they are to worship. How can I kill them? Oh, no, I cannot kill him. And Krishna chastised him very much. Krishna told him, claim him. Claim him means you are important. So important to Kshatriya is very taught, very provocative word. Kshatriya cannot tolerate the word importance. But he was told important. Krishna told him in front of him. And then not only told him, so we are weakness of the heart. Why are you having weakness? We have to fight this battle. But he was not, and then afterwards he came to senses. And then he says, what? Karpanya dosha. I'm full of faults. Is there weakness? Is there weakness? Is there? Now I'm Shadimam Prapanname Saranga. So when he asked for the direction, then only Krishna started the instruction. Till the time Krishna never gave instruction. Krishna never started the instruction. Karpanya dosha. He says, Shadimam Prapannam, I'm surrendered to you. And therefore that is begging for direction. Sadimam Prapannam means begging for direction. Your Brahma is begging for direction from the Lord how to create this earth, how to make the earth, and so that the creation can start. So it is very important. We should depend on Krishna or senior devotees for direction, always in the material life and spiritual life, and it will be very good, And then immediately Krishna grants his mercy, immediately, response immediately. And then was thinking about, Lord Brahma was thinking how to get the earth from the water in the water of devastation. It has fallen into the water of devastation. Therefore, the version has fallen into the deluge. So how to get it out? So he was thinking about it. The moment he was thinking and depending on Krishna, because the dependence on Krishna and begging for mercy of the direction. So begging from the direction and always remembering Krishna and asking for direction and asking for his mercy. So begging, direction, mercy, begging for mercy, begging for direction, and remembering Krishna. All the three things simultaneously doing. So because of all these three things, what has happened? Brahma, Lord Krishna, appeared from the nostril of Brahma. He appeared as a small, just like this size only, this size. This size, Lord Varaha appeared from the nostril of Brahma. The moment he came, he became big. So we may ask a question that Varaha, being the Lord, he is a transcendental Lord, how he can appear from the nostril of Brahma? This is a material body. This nostril is material. How come he can appear? This question may arise in our head. But you have to understand, Krishna is Swarat and Abhijna. He is fully cognizant and fully independent. He is not dependent on anything. Suppose you say, for example, how come Krishna can appear from the nostril? Because he is material. The Brahma's body is material. This body which comes out of Krishna, the Varaha is also material. No. Krishna can come from anybody. He can come from material. He can come from spiritual. He can come from anywhere. That is the beauty of Krishna. He can come from the water also. For Matsya avatar, Kurma avatar, he came from the water automatically. So you can come from any place. You cannot put condition for Krishna to appear. If you put condition for Krishna, then he is not supreme personality of God. He is not supremely independent. Then why we are worshipping? So this question will arise. So he can appear from anywhere. Not only that, there is also, even if he appears, he is transcendental. That also Krishna himself says in the Bible. I will tell that verse. Before that, what we have to understand, that this he has appeared through the nose. If you see in the pastime of Kardama Muni and Lord Kapila's appearance, he appeared in the semen of Kardama Muni and he entered in the womb of Devahuti. And then he came as a normal child. You may ask me, how come he can enter the semen? How he can? Krishna can enter anywhere. So we are all born in the normal semen and all, but Krishna can appear in the semen, Krishna can appear in the nostril, Krishna can appear anywhere, any place. And he can appear from the pillar. His mother is a pillar. He appeared as Narasimha. Vamana also he appeared. So he can appear anywhere, anywhere. Nobody can put any condition to Krishna. So and in case of Krishna appearance also, Krishna how he appeared? Krishna entered the mind and the heart of Vasudeva. From the heart of Vasudeva, he entered into the mind of Devaki, and Devaki immediately she became pregnant. There was no physical union between Devaki Mata and Vasudeva. Anyway, she became pregnant. How is it possible? That is because he is transcendental. Krishna is a transcendental form. You cannot control. And that's why we have to understand that we cannot restrict Krishna to be like us. If you restrict Krishna, then we become conditioned living in this. No? Hare Krishna, Mataji. Manisha Mataji, can you mute please, if you don't mind? Okay, thank you. So, we have to understand that Krishna can, and that's why Krishna says very nicely in the Bhagavad Gita. Ajopisan abhyayatma bhutanam ishvaropisan prakritim swam avidistaya sambhavami atmamaya. He says that Ajopisan, Aja, means unborn. Abhyayatma, his body is not material, never it deteriorates. Bhutanam ishvaro, he is a controller of all the living entities. He is a supreme controller, Ishvaro. Prakritim swam adhistaya. He is beyond the material creation. He is not affected by the modes of material nature. Sambhavami Atmamaya. He is coming on his own. So you cannot force Krishna. Brahma cannot force Lord Varaha to appear. Lord Krishna to appear as Lord Varaha. He is coming. Sambhavami Atmamaya. And therefore we can see he has come from the nostril. And also we may think that he has come from the nostril and you should have some cold problems. No. You can never see Lord Varaha is affected by cold cough. And he's having running nose like us. No, he doesn't have. He doesn't have throat problem. He doesn't have fever. He doesn't have lung infection. He doesn't have corona. Nothing is there. Then take Narasimhadev. Narasimha, is he affected by jaundice? No. Can you say Lord Rama is affected by paralysis? No. Lord Krishna, is he affected by, because he's always bathing the Yamuna, he's affected by typhoid, or he's eating so many mud and all. Is he affected by typhoid? No. So Krishna is transcendental. Nothing affects his body, is fully transcendental, is fully soul, and therefore no condition. And also, we have to understand one more point in this, and you can understand that why Krishna appeared from the nose. The purpose is there is a purpose behind it. Krishna appeared in the nose because, and as Varaha, because he has to smell the earth. Correct? He has to smell the earth and get it from, and therefore, hog is a very, very abominable. It eats stool and stool. It eats stool only. Hog eats stool. But this Krishna's body, this Varaha Sarira is not material. His hairs are all reciting Vedas. And he is going to deluge into the Garbhadaka ocean. The moment he entered, the whole ocean gets purified. And then what has happened? When he comes out, the water particles smear all over, and all the sages get purified because he is completely pure, transcendental. Shuddham. Krishna's another name is Shuddham. Completely pure. There is no iota of contamination of Krishna. So that's why we can see, even though he appears in the nostril, he is transcendental. He is not affected by it. And therefore he came as Varaha, as a boar incarnate, lowest form of animal, because he has to smell the earth and get it from the Garbhadaka ocean. So he can do anything for the sake of the Lord. Because the mercy and the direction come from Brahma, Krishna said, I will take the form of Lord. And then in case of this Aditi Mata, what he said? No, I will take the form of Vamana. Because I will go and beg. He says, I am going to beg. For the sake of my devotee, for the sake of Indra, for the sake of Aditi, she prayed for me, I will go and beg. Can you imagine? This Supreme Lord is so wonderful. And we are not running after this man. We are running after everybody. He is the person who is going to accompany us. That which is accompanying us, we don't have time. This Hare Krishna mantra, the chanting in the holy name, is accompanying us. Life after life. Dharma anugachanti ekaha. But that which is accompanying us, we don't have time. That which is not accompanying us, we have so much of time. So, therefore, such a wonderful Lord, he is ready to beg. He says, I have to find the upaya. I have to find a way. I have to find a way by which I will go and beg from Mahabali. No problem. I'll go and beg. And that's why when I begged Mahabali, Mahabali was Suvritaha. He was Satyabha. And then he said, no. Because he has given the entire property to me, I become indebted to you. I become a servant I become a doorkeeper in Sutala planet. Not only that he goes into Sutala, he satisfies everybody. Can you imagine the Varah past in the Mahabali, Vamana past time? He satisfies everybody. Can you imagine? And then he has a doorkeeper. And then doorkeeper also, he is waiting which door. There are 4 or 5 doors from the palace. So he is saying which door Mahabali will come. So that he can say, sir, good morning, sir. This is the way. Namaskaram, sir. This is what we do, Mahabali. Because Mahabali sacrificed everything for the sake of the Lord. He decided to give everything for the sake of the Lord. So Atma Nimedanam. So he completely surrendered to the Lord. And therefore Krishna says, I am surrendered to you. Since you are surrendered, I am surrendered. I will become a doorkeeper. And then Lakshmi Mata came to Sutala planet, and then she spoke to Mahabali. Can you do one thing? You just inform through one of your soldiers that which door you are coming on. Because my Prabhuji, my Prananatha, Krishna, is loitering in this four door and he is in anxiety. What chanchal mein? Usko chanchal mat karo, because he is Krishna, Bhagavan. Uska itna chanchal mat karo. He is anxious to serve you. So you tell which way you come so that he can serve it nicely. This is the mood of Krishna. So that's why he is transcendental. He is ready to go to Sutala planet for the sake of Mahabali. Can you imagine? Can you do that? We cannot do that. Such a merciful Lord. How can we live? How these pastimes are so wonderful. How can we leave this Varaka incarnation? How can we live on Varaka policy without remembering Lord Varaka? Such an incarnation, such a powerful incarnation. He is ready to take any form, in the form of pig, the lowest of animal, but still he is ready to take. That is that's how we have to understand from this particular instructions. So then, and immediately he grew big. When he grew big, he grew big. He became very, very big. Because he became very big, and he was scanning the entire sky, and he was also hissing and making noise as a Varaha. And then he was roaring, and he was not roaring. So he was doing all this at the time. Lord Brahma became bewildered. Brahma was bewildered, and the bewilderment he again prayed, Krishna, please, we don't understand. You are Supreme Personality of Godhead. We don't know whether you are Supreme Personality of Godhead. He again prays. And immediately Krishna says, don't worry. And then he makes a tumultuous sound. And he makes a sound, yes, yes. He sends Lord's recipients to establish supremacy. And he enlivens them. Yes, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I have come here to take the earth and to do the creation. I have come for you. So Krishna comes in any form. Krishna is such a merciful incarnation. How can we leave such an exalted, transcendental Lord who do everything for the sake of his devotee? Just for the sake of Brahma, he has done. Just for the sake of just for the sake of Aditi Mata, he did. Just for the sake of Mahabali, he went to the Sutala. And then just for the sake of the Gopas and Gopis, he is ready to take them on their shoulders. Can you imagine? Such a supreme Lord, supremely independent, supremely cognizant. He's doing all these passes. And he's eating the juta. He's taking the remnants of the devotees of Gopas. Can you imagine? Such an exalted Lord. We don't offer juta to Krishna, but he was taking juta from his Gopas. Can you imagine? Such a wonderful Lord. So Brahma could realize, and all the sages could realize. So sometimes we are bewildered by material energy, and then we have to pray to Krishna. So Brahma again prayed to Krishna. So whenever we are bewildered by material energy, so many problems we face in the office, in the house, and the family and all, please go and surrender to Krishna. That is the only solution. There is no other solution, no other solution, no other. Krishna will give the direction, and Krishna will enlighten us how to go. And all the sages started praying to the Lord. They all started praying wonderfully. These prayers are very wonderful. They are glorifying the Lord, and how transcendental his personality is, how his hairs are all Vedic hymns, and how his body is transcendental. Normal pig body is not transcendental, but this body is completely, because it is Ajobisan Avaya. It is not perished. Lord Varah incarnation is eternal. So then immediately after the prayers was there, then this question, one question may come in our mind, that creation has not happened. So how come the sages and other Brahma prayers are praying? And that's why Prabhupada writes in the 3:13:31 that this happened in Swayambhu evacuation, when all the planets other than the higher one, Jana Maha. So sages in Janaloka, Maraloka, and Satyaloka, they were all praying to Krishna, because this is Swayambhu devastation of Lord Varaha at the time. And therefore they were all there. It was devastation, annihilation happened. So so the people are only these three lokas were there, but the whole world is deluged. So at that time he came, he appeared, and therefore they were able to pray to Krishna. So that is what is mentioned in 3:13:31. And then actually the moment everything is there, then they started glorifying. Lord Vara did not care for glorification. He says, I am just going. He said, I will go. He go to the Garbhodaka ocean, takes there, and then fights with the demon, and then we will discuss about the fight also. So that we will discuss in detail. So here, main thing we have to understand, Lord Varaha is not hankering for glorification. We have to understand, Lord Varaha is not hankering for glorification. He is trying to remember Krishna. He is trying to do his service. And therefore, it is very, very important for us. We have to understand. Now, we have to understand so important that just like salt, we add salt, in the food. And then salt is very important. The service of salt is very important. But do you see the salt? You don't see the salt. We say that is. And then we are very happy. The service is very good, but the servitor is not visible. The servant is not visible. The same way, we have to be very, very clear here. He is not hankering for any glorification. His important service, Krishna's important service, Krishna is teaching us through this pastime that his important service not for hankering for glorification. Suppose if Pant Prabhu tells me, Prabhuji, you are a wonderful class, super class, wonderful class, I'll hear the glorification, I will not do the service. I'll forget everything because I want glorification. Because we are lacking, for nobody is glorifying us. So that's why we are hankering. But in this case, he is not hankering for glorification because he is some Avismitamtam Paripurna Kam. Paripurna Kam is complete satisfied with himself. He is complete satisfied with all desire. But we have the desire. Somebody should glorify us, somebody should pamper us. Oh, I have done this kitchen nicely, please appreciate. We expect glorification. ये रसगुल्ला बनाया अच्छा मेरा हस्बैंड कोई अप्रिशिएशन वही नहीं दिया इतना बड़ा पालक पनीर बनाया वो अप्रिशिएट नहीं किया ऐसा ऐसा हम मांगते हैं but Krishna doesn't mind that. So we should not hang. We should do the service and leave it to Krishna. Okay, this is very important. No hankering for glorification. So that's what we will see. And now took the year very easily killed the Hiranyakashipu. So now we have to understand this with the fight between Hiranyaksha and Lord Varaha that we are going to discuss in brief, not fully, but brief we are going to discuss. So we have to understand that Lord Varaha took the earth very easily and easily killed the demon. Demon is nothing for Krishna. So in the meantime, we'll discuss this first time, how the fight happened. Actually, in this third canto, 13th chapter, it is summarized in one verse. But if you go to the 19th, 17th, 18th chapter, big fight discussion, how the fight went. It's like, I will tell you about it. It's a wonderful discussion in 17, 18, 19th chapter. I would request you to go through the details of those verses, especially on Varaha Jayanti. Spend some time and read the purports. It will be very interesting, very instructive. Even if you are not able to read the purports, at least read the verses and translation. The 17, 18, 19, it will be wonderful. Please do it at your leisure. I will leave it to you. So here, this third canto, 30th chapter is like 17th chapter, the glorification of Hiranyaksha. So you can understand, he was glorified. When he appeared from the womb of Ditimata, he is glorified. He became very terrified. He and Hiranyakashipu, they were the two demons came from the Ditimata. So they were all terrifying the entire universe. And it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam that he was going into all the places and fighting with the people. He entered, he was so powerful, Bhagavatam says, third canto, 17th chapter, that he was able to divide the ocean into two. And he can create a land in between them. And he was creating tsunami and create so much havoc. All the aquatics were shivering and fear and so much. All the whales, all the sharks, all the animals in the water, they were all trembling in fear. He was creating so much havoc. And Varuna Bhagwan, who is sitting here, he saw that this ocean is being cut into two. He became bewildered. He was worried and he was staying inside. He doesn't want to come out. But however, Lord Varaha did not leave him. He said, I want to fight. So he wants to have the urge to fight. Virya Rasa. Here, we may ask, how come Hiranyaksha is being glorified like this? 17, 18, 19, of a powerful potency of the Lord. This question comes in our mind, correct? It happens. But we have to understand, who is this Hiranyaksha? Anybody knows? Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, who are they before this Janma? Jai Vijaya. They are eternal associates of the Lord. They are not ordinary living entities like us. So we should remember that. So the whole pastime of Sanat Kumara's cursing the Jai Vijaya is to enact the pastimes of the Lord, to see the glory, how much glory is the fight between Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu and Narsimha. These pastimes are to be enacted. And for that sake, Jai Vijaya said that we will fall down from the spiritual world for the sake of the Lord. Krishna wanted to enact this pastime. And therefore, They are eternally happy with serving Krishna. And Sanat Kumaras was only instrumental. And Krishna says in the Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 15th chapter, that I was only orchestrated the whole pastime. Because he wants the big pastime and he wants to fight with somebody. And the Virya Rasa. Because his fighting spirit is there, Krishna doesn't want ordinary people. He wants a devotee who is equal to him. Otherwise, he cannot fight with us. No? We are all nothing. When Corona is enough, he will finish us. one chicken gunya is there, he will kill us. One small dengue mosquito is enough to kill us. So he doesn't care for us. He wants the equal fight. And therefore, for the Virya Rasa, so we want to have the Virya Rasa. He said that he enacted the pastime. And Jaya Vijaya were exalted devotees of the Lord. They came as Hiranyakashipu. And they took the role. And they accepted the curse. And therefore, Krishna wants to glorify them for their potency. And that's why this glorification of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu is mentioned in the page of the Bhagavad. You have to understand. And therefore, don't think that Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu we are better devotees than Hiranyaksha. No, they are playing the role. They are acting in the film. This is a film of Krishna. You have to understand. He's enacting the pastime for the sake of Krishna. And therefore, you should not think that I am better than Jaya Vijaya. I am better than Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. Don't think like that. Okay, we are conditioned souls. They are eternally grateful. Within 3 births, they went back to Krishna. We don't know how many births we will take to go. So that's why we have to remember glorification is there in Hiranyaksha. Such a powerful personality. So, and that's what we have to understand. The power of Hiranyaksha, that it is the praises of the Bhagavatam, 17th chapter. We'll discuss in brief the power of Hiranyaksha. He was split the ocean into two and was created so much of. And then what has happened? He went and he caught hold of Varuna. Varuna just fell at the feet of Hiranyaksha and said that I cannot fight with you. I am an old man. There is one person equal to you, and that is Lord Varaha. You go and fight with him. He is the best person you should fight. You go and fight with him. That's what is the best. So, and then he's telling a very important instruction that how come when we are proud of our power, our potency, of our capacity, and anything in office and everywhere, Krishna decimates it. Krishna powders it into pieces. That's what he says very nicely in 3rd canto. Pride leads to fall and destruction. So there's a nice verse spoken by Varuna, 3:17-31. Wonderfully he says, Veeramarad Abipadya Vishamaya Sayi Virasaya Saye Swabye Vritaha Yasvad Vidanam Ashatam Prashantaye Rupani Datte Sadanum Chaya. He says, Varuna continued, on reaching him, he says to Hiranyaksha, on reaching Krishna, you will get rid of your pride. And at once, immediately you will get rid of the pride. How? You will lie down in the field of battle, surrounded by dogs. Your body will be down, body will be dead, and dogs and hogs and jackals will come and eat you for eternal sleep. He says you will eternally sleep. In his cities is in order to exterminate wicked fellows like you. You are a wicked fellow like you, and to show his grace of virtue, he assumes various incarnation as Lord Varaha. So he says Varaha has come there to give mercy to all of us and to kill you within a second. Don't worry, you go to him and fight. So this demon could not think anything else. Oh, somebody is there to fight. He just goes there. And therefore, we have to understand, very important. So at that time, what happened? This pastime goes on. The Lord Varaha was taking the earth from the Garbhotra bush. And he was taking the earth and he was keeping in the place because Brahma wanted to start the procreation of the earth, earthly planet. So he wants to take the earth, especially. So, one second. Huh? Ah, you know, joined. Sorry, bro. Thank you, Hare Krishna. There's a call from one of our, well, my wife relative is not well, so something urgent. So that's why I stopped it. So here, uh, Hiranyaksha saw that the Lord was picking up the mother earth and then putting on the place. So he was trying to put the earth the proper place so that the creation can happen and all the living entities can be created. and then Swayambhu Manu and Satarupa can start the creation and procreation and all. So that everything can be done. So he was taking the earth and putting in the proper place. While doing that, Hiranyaksha could not tolerate it. He says, how come? Oh, low amphibian. He was shouting at him. Hiranyaksha was blaspheming Krishna, blaspheming like anything. You amphibian, you lower creature, why you are taking the earth? The earth belongs to me. I have put the earth in the deluge. What right you have got to take this earth and go? How dare you to take it? He was shouting and screaming. Hiranyaksha was screaming at the top of the voice. It was a big sound. At the time, what did Lord do? That's we have to understand. Lord did not keep anything. He was blaspheming him. You are amphibian beast. I will smash your skulls. Bhagavatam tells very nicely. He shouted with very bad names. I'll smash your skulls. And devotional service and sacrifice will stop because of the death of you. I'm going to kill you. You are a rascal. And you are a rascal, number one. And then so many abusive words you use the devil, and you are amphibian beast. And then Krishna, Lord Varaha, did not keep any information. At the time of glorification by the sages, he did not care. Udasina, Vadasina. He is not worried about it. Glorification. Here it is criticism. There it is glorification. Here hankering for, here criticism. We cannot tolerate the criticism. Any mother is a Prabhuji, how can you tell like this? My prasadam, you are finding fault with me. You cannot tolerate it. Oh, I cannot tolerate it. And then and somebody says, your chanting is not good. We cannot tolerate it. We become, my class is not good. We cannot tolerate it. So my chanting is the best. My mala, my flower garden is the best. Like that, we glorify ourselves. We cannot tolerate any criticism. The Maharaj says when the criticism is there, our Guru Maharaj, that there is some truth. If somebody criticizes you, there is a truth in it. Please evaluate that. But what we do, we find fault. Here, Krishna, what he does, he was hearing all that blaspheming of the Hiranyaksha. He did not be a word. He wants to protect Bhumi Mata. And Bhumi Mata is shivering under because already this Hiranyaksha has took the earth, put it in the deluge. So if she was shivering and seeing that Hiranyaksha in such a huge form, he was spanning the entire universe. And Varaha is also spanning the entire universe. Both of them are big, big, and therefore she was very much worried. She was saying that Krishna, how we are going to protect me? She was praying to Krishna. Bhumi Mata is praying to Krishna. And Krishna understood that Lord Varaha understood, not Krishna, I am telling, Lord Varaha understood that she is terribly, terribly shaken and she is shivering and she is just, she is hallucinating. She doesn't know what to do, no? I know that the fits people, how fits people will react. Like that, the whole earth was shaking. Just like when the earthquake happens, the same way the earth was shaking. So she was shaking, the whole earth was shaking. She doesn't know what to do. And then Krishna, Lord Varaha understood. Immediately he took that. He didn't hear a beat of word. He didn't talk, look at him. And then he kept it. And goal was to put the earth in the proper place. Once it put in the proper place, then this creation, everything can stop. And this is how we have to understand. So in the material world, so many criticism is there in the devotional service. People will criticize, but we should not leave the path. And therefore, there is a nice verse in the Bhagavatam, Bhumi Mata. We have to understand two things we realize. The Lord protects his devotees in any circumstances. So Lord Varaha protects his devotee Bhumi Mata in any circumstances. So Krishna is every day is allowing us to chant our holy names. It is his protection. His spiritual protection is more important. He's not interested in your material protection, but he will protect your spiritual consciousness. And that is the prerogative of Krishna. So he is allowing us to chant every day. Every day we have to come to the program. We are able to chant the holy names. And you are able to chant Chaitanya Shishtashanam and hear the Bhagavatam class. That is his mercy. To come to this program is also Krishna's mercy. Otherwise, we are all selected by Krishna. Our Maharaj used to say, unless you are selected, you will not attend any program. You are very fortunate. Not ordinary souls to come to the program here. It is not possible to come every day to come and attend. You are very fortunate. You are selected by Krishna. And therefore, your protection will continue. Till your last death, Krishna will protect your devotional service. Krishna will protect. And that's what is. And that's only we have to beg. We have to be humble. We have to pray for his direction, as Brahma did. We have to do that. That's all. So now let us go into. The next point is we have to understand there is a tolerance. So here, Krishna tolerated the insults or the criticisms. Can you imagine Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, Bhagavan? He is the supreme person. He is allowing Hiranyakashipu to criticize. So Krishna doesn't matter. So this is how we should learn. He tolerated. This tolerate word is very, very important, Prabhuji and Mataji. The whole pastime of Varaha, Brahma is teaching us humility. And then Brahma is teaching us humility, and Lord Varaha is instructing tolerance. Humility and tolerance is the two eyes of the devotion service. If you leave these two eyes, you can never progress. You cannot see the world, and you cannot progress in devotion service. Without eye, we cannot see anything. Without these two eyes of tolerance and humility, we cannot reach Krishna. So here, tolerance is very important. Once one devotee, our God brother asked Maharaj, Maharaj, what is the power of tolerance? Maharaj said, tolerate from the beginning to end. Tolerance, there is no limit. For tolerance, there is no limit. And he says, he told, oh, you rascal, I am tolerating you. Your chanting is not good. Your reading of Bhagavatam is not good. Your dealing with the people is not good. Your behavior is not good. I am tolerating you. So how much Krishna is tolerating you for so many janmas? Krishna is tolerating so much that we are not chanting the holy names properly. We are not reading Bhagavatam. We are not behaving nicely. We are not becoming devotees. We are not begging for his direction. We are not humble. We are not tolerant. And how much he is tolerant for all our behavior, and still he gives mercy to allow you to chant the holy names of the Lord. Then you tell that tolerance has a limit, no limit. So Krishna is tolerating so much. So we are his devotees. We should tolerate at this certain level. And that's what the Maharaj said. Tolerance has no. And therefore, here, Lord tolerated. And therefore, there is a nice verse in the Bhagavatam. It is very nice. So how we should go on with our duty. We should not get affected by the consults and criticism by the devotees or by material people. We should go on with the progress of Krishna consciousness. Very nicely. Bhutai 11, 7, 37. Very important verse. One, for humility, you know, you all know every day you recite. This verse is very important for tolerance. Bhutair akram manapi, diro deva vashanani. Tadvidwan nachalet marka, annu shiksham shite. He says that, he says very nicely, Bhutair akram. In this material world, akramya means harass. You will be harassed by living in this. You will be harassed. Our Maharaj says, if you are not harassed, you should be surprised in this material. You should be harassed by your wife. You should be harassed by your husband. You should be harassed by sister-in-law, mother-in-law, office people, boss, your subordinates, your children. All the people has to harass you. Somebody has to harass you. If they are not harassed, you should be surprised. So harassment in this material world is inevitable. We have to accept this harassment. Harassment is there. Certainly there will be harassment. Maharaj says, if nobody is harassing you, that means your punya karma is very good. You are going back to Krishna, we can say. If there is harassment, definitely we have to do that. And also it is very good. Punya karma is expediting. So if you don't have any harassment in your life, that means it is dangerous. Your punya karma is depleting. Suppose somebody is harassing you, that means your papa karma is going. That means you can go back to Krishna quickly. So it is very good. If somebody criticizes, it's very good. Actually, that is at least criticism is also a mercy. So that's how we should see. Our Baba karmas are going by this criticism. So here, it is very important for us to understand that Krishna was Bhutai Rakam, Diro Daivo. Dira means one who is sober. Daiva Vashanavi. And this verse, particularly the 11, 7, 37, this verse was spoken by Krishna to Uddhava. Krishna to Uddhava. We will talk about how Krishna, we will talk about it also. So Krishna is speaking to Uddhava, Bhutair Akram, Diro Dira, not a Dira, Deva Vashanami. Somebody is harassing us because Deva Vashanami, they are under the control of material nature, which is under the control of Krishna. The material nature, material modes, which is also the control of Krishna. Correct? Deva Vashanami. They are influenced by the modes of material nature, which is also under the control of Krishna. Vasha. Vasha means they are completely captured by that. And that's why they are harassing. Deva Vashanami. So what we should do? Dhira, who is sober person, who is intelligent. Dhira is intelligent. Then Tadvidwan, who is intelligent and learned person. What we should do? Nachalet marga. Our marga is what? Goes towards Krishna. Then the mother-in-law say, father-in-law say, sister-in-law say, that person say, this person say, doesn't affect us. We have to chant the holy names and we have to go back to Krishna. We are temporary here in this material. So 30 years, 40 years, we have to tolerate, 10 years, 15 years. Then afterwards, they will go and you will be separated. So your mother-in-law or sister-in-law or daughter-in-law, husband, everybody is separated. Your son is also separated from you. When you're dead, nobody is going to accompany. So your devotional service only going to happen. Tat Vidwan. So one who is intelligent, na chalet marga. He will not leave the path. Marga, our path towards Krishna. So Anvashiksham. This is the lesson we have to. Anvashiksham means we have to learn this lesson. Important lesson. Anvashiksham is very important. He says, Anvashiksham means I have learned. He says, it is I have learned. Shite just like the earth. So what has happened? Krishna tolerated the insults of this. And therefore, what has happened? Krishna's tolerance has become contagious because he was holding the mother here and he was not reacting to Hiranyaksha. He was not fighting with Hiranyaksha. He's going to fight separately, but not now. So his primary duty, his goal of existence, his marga is to put the earth in the proper place. His purpose is not to do anything else. So he puts the marga into the proper place. Prabhu, can we speak for 10 minutes, Prabhu, if you don't mind?
I have some invite from East of Kailash temple, so I need to go there.
5-10 minutes, Prabhu. 5 minutes.
Okay, you take, Prabhuji, no problem.
Please, sorry for that. So I have to finish now. So, Anvashiksham, he learned. So here, Bhumi Mata, now Krishna understood and about tolerance. She saw, Bhumi Mata saw the power of tolerance of Krishna. She developed it. Anvashiksham Siddhartha. She also developed the tolerance. We are drilling the oil, we are building big buildings. She tolerates. She never says complaints. She never complained to Krishna, oh, they are building buildings. They are tolerant, especially in Abu Dhabi and all, they are drilling oil for 200, 400 feet. No. So, tolerance, if you are tolerant, your children will be tolerant. So, other devotees will become tolerant. So, tolerant is contagious. So, that's what happened. And then one more point we have to understand. This verse is spoken by Krishna to Uddhava. And Krishna practiced this in Varah avatar, and then Krishna avatar is telling. So, practice what we are preaching. But what we do, we preach to others, but we don't practice the tolerance. And that's why our potency of speaking Bhagavatam has no effect. Very important. Preaching what you practice. And therefore, what happens? We have got a knowledge. We got the realization, but we have not put it to practice. Therefore, this is like undigested food. Suppose that there is undigested food. Food is not digested, what will happen? It will come as vomiting. And therefore, what happens? We are not progressing towards Krishna. We are not going healthily towards Krishna. So it is very important for us to understand very important point. Whatever we preach, we should try to practice, cultivate to practice. Krishna, he practiced in the Varaha incarnation and he preached in 11th canto. When he has a Krishna incarnation, he preached. So whatever he practiced, he preached. So this is very important for us to understand. And the practice and preach should be there. Tolerance is condition. And the wonderful fight happened between the demon and all. And one thing you must understand, the fight was excellent. I don't want to go into the details. The fight was dharmic. One time Krishna lost the mace and the demon says, please take the mace, let us fight. And finally, there was a appropriate time and then he was killed. The moment he was killed, well, that's what the verse we discussed, that the body was killed by a fist after big fighting happened. Big fighting. I don't want to go into it. He hit the chin of Hiranyaksha and then he fell down. And then it is written that Akunta Vajas, unfaded good. So that means Krishna's touch made the body, usually body deteriorates, and that's why they put it in the refrigerator. The body puts in the refrigerator. They cannot keep the body for a long time. So it was refrigerated. We refrigerated. The moment body dies, it starts deteriorating. It starts depleting and it started stinking. But here, because Krishna has touched the body, and therefore, in the moment we are in touch with it, now presently our body is unfaded good. So that's why Maharaj says, if you chant nicely, our Maharaj used to say, if you chant nicely with attention, then I have to wear goggles to see you because you will have a glow on your body. If you don't chant properly, then it will be unfaded. It will be fading and therefore no potency. So that's why Maharaj says, our Maharaj says, always chant the holy names with attention. And therefore, when we always constantly touch with the Supreme Spirit, that's why we have to constantly touch the holy names of Krishna all the time so that our body doesn't deteriorate. Body becomes healthy. Our Maharaj was attacked by stroke, and the doctor told that if you don't take this medicine for the blood thinner, you will die. Maharaj said, I will not take. Then he was able to lift both the hands because his body became transcendental because of the potency of the holy names. because he was constantly touched with the Supreme Spirit. And therefore, we should be constantly chanting the holy names of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. This is our goal of our existence. Never leave chanting. Chanting should be always be done so that our body becomes transcendental. Okay, even though mind may go somewhere, but all the time we chant. At least attentive chanting should be done so that we have glow in our body. And that's why Brahmaraj used to see that. That's why body, Krishna's body, and our body is not material. Our body is transcendental now. For the last 1 hour. So this is what we have to understand. And then I will finish with the 2 verses. Whatever nothing needs to be achieved. Bhagavad Gita 3:13-49. Read them. Nothing remains unachieved. And the Supreme Personality of God is pleased. So we have to please the Supreme Lord. Just like Brahma pleased, Manu pleased. We have to please the Supreme Lord. And Hiranyaksha also pleased the Supreme Lord in the form of fighting. So the more we please the Supreme, nothing remains unachieved. By transcendental achievement, one understands everything else is significant. Once we derive the transcendental pressure, engage in transcendental is elevated to the highest perfect stage of Lord himself. And then I witness. What is the beauty? Charma Shloka. Charma Shloka means, Varaha Charma Shloka means it's very, very important. How Varaha is the most merciful incarnation of all the incarnations. So here it is very important. This was spoken by Varaha. Varaha Lord, Varaha in Varaha Puran. He says, Site Manasi Suste Sarire Sati Noya Naraha Dhatu Samme Site Smatta Vishwaropa Chamam Ajam Tatashtam Miryamanam Utpashta Pashana Sannibam Aham Smarami Madbhaktam Nayami Paramam Gadim Kapavatadi Doshena Madbhakto Nacham Mam Smaret Tasya Smarayam Aham Nachetgata Go Paraha. The one with his mind in its good condition, when the body is fit, our heads are okay, legs are okay. And when the elementary constitutions of Dhatu, Kapavada Pitta are all in effect, ruminates on me, always remembers me. When we remember Krishna, it was a world as my body was not subject to birth due to karma. And when he lies, when we die as a log of wood or a piece of stone in his dying moments, when we die, I will think of him. Even though he may be Kapavada Pitta, you will be in stroke, you will be in this one, but I will not forget him. My bhakta and lead him to supreme abode. I will take him to supreme abode. At that time, I have youth, Belgan, and wind, so on. For the Kapavada and Pitta, he may not be able to speak. But the devotee is unable to think of me. We are in coma also. I will think of him. This is Varaga's vow that I will think of him. If I don't do so, no one can be more ungrateful than me. He says, Kritagnya is the word. I am ungrateful if I cannot remember my devotee who has chanted my holy names.
Prabhuji, what is the verse, please?
I will try to send you, Prabhu.
Okay.
I will try to send you. I will send you through WhatsApp to you. Just give me some time. And then, so that's why we understand. Lord Varaga past time, you have to understand. Lord Brahma, Hiranyaksha satisfied, pleased the Lord as fighting. Lord Brahma begged and directed and was humble. And then Krishna tolerated and Bhuvi Mata also tolerated. And these are all the lessons we have to learn from this pastime and try to apply in our lives. And these are the lessons we learn from Lord Varaha. And this is the way we get the mercy of Lord Varaha. And nothing remains unachieved when we are engaged in the transcendental loving service. Hare Krishna, Bhagavatam Grantaraj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev, Jai Gaur Premnami, Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Sorry for extra time.
Hare Krishna. No problem, Prabhuji. Haven't exceeded much. Thank you, Prabhuji, for taking pains and volunteering to take a special class. Hare Krishna. If any devotee has any questions, you can unmute your mic or you can type in the comment box. I can see Dayal Prabhuji is there. Dandavat Pranam, Dayal Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam, Arun Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Sajjan Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Prabhuji, I have a question on tolerance. Even
yes,
a couple of times before also I asked the same question, but somehow the doubt lingers in my mind, Prabhuji. So I mean, it in Shikshastakam, it's very clear. It says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, that is the only way. There is no other go. That is the only path. But if you see the avatars of Bhagwan, they all have come of Kshatriyas. And they all have come as Kshatriyas.
Okay.
That is one point, probably. And second point is, even in the Bhagavad Gita,
all avatars are Kshatriyas, like Narasimha incarnation is a half line, half man, no? And Varaha is also half line, half man. These are all not Kshatriya incarnation.
I'm particularly talking about Bhagavan Ram and Bhagavan Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Actually,
Because,
yes. Both of them are Kshatriya. Yes, Lord
yes.
Raman. Okay.
Yeah, and predominantly we follow in Sanatana Dharma, we follow the teachings of Bhagavan Ram and Bhagavan Krishna.
Yes.
And both of them are Kshatriyas.
Yes.
And both of them have taken the arms to kill the demon or the wise things. And even in Bhagavad Gita, when Bhagavan Krishna says to Arjuna, when Arjuna says that, okay, no, will not fight them or leave them, I will not go into war with them. Bhagavan Krishna says that you need to stand up and fight for the Dharma.
Correct.
That is your duty as a Kshatriya.
Correct.
So when we see that with the word tolerant, Prabhuji, in today's
Yeah,
world,
wonderful. Super question, Prabhu. Wonderful question. Excellent question. So what we
how
have to
do
understand.
Get that, Prabhuji?
Yeah. The material world we have to tolerate. Yes. But what has happened when the adharma is exceeding certain limits, especially with related to the Pandavas of the law. So here they have occupied the place. They have actually, it is said, 6 type of aggression they have done. They have stolen the property. They have disrobed her wife. They did all the things. They cheated them. So many things. They have burnt the house. So all the 6 type of aggression, it is said in the scriptures that these people can be retaliated. It is true that we have to retaliate, and therefore we have to fight this battle, and this battle is to be fight on the Dharma Kshetra. It is not on the. It's not a question of. Not the question of personal whims and fancies. No, it is Krishna wants, because he wants to, because Krishna has taken a vow that he will hold up the Dharma. Because he says, no, what is that verse? I appear million after million. Paritranaya sadhuna minashaya daskritam. I have to eliminate. So these demands, Krishna wants to establish pure devotees to rule the kingdom. He doesn't want the demons to rule the kingdom for a long time, because he wants to establish the principles of dharma. Whereas Duryodhana and Duchajana or Dhritarashtra, they did not follow the dharmic principles. They are completely adharmic in all respects, and therefore they have to be punished. And therefore this battle is inevitable. And that time he says, don't tolerate. And then he says, you are important. As a Kshatriya, you have to fight. And this is not a question of tolerance. This is question of running away from the situation. You are a coward. Krishna says you are an impotent and coward. It is the weakness of the heart. You have to fight this battle, and this battle is established. And in fact, Krishna struggled for this battle, and this for the earth to have 36 years of good rule by Yudhishthira Maharaj. After 36 years, they left the body, and then 60 years of Parikshit Maharaj, almost 96 years. But Krishna wants to establish Dharma, and that is the live wire of Krishna consciousness. Whenever he wants to establish Dharma, he has to fight. And Ravana was personification of, he is taking the wife, and therefore he has to be killed. He cannot be tolerated. So there is no question of tolerance. And wondering, understand. Krishna killed, okay? But when Krishna killed, are we killing? What has happened? We are put into the jail. When Krishna killed, they are liberated. So Krishna's mercy comes in the form of killing also. All it is said in the Bhagavatam, I think, first canto, 9th chapter. No? By seeing all the people in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the longevity was removed, and they were all liberated and went back to Golok. All the people in the Kurukshetra war, they were liberated. Nobody was spared anywhere. So they were all liberated and went back to the Golok Vrinda, to Vaikuntha. So nobody was spared. And when Ravana was killed, he went to the Golok Vrinda because he is Jaya Vijaya incarnation. Correct or not? He is not ordinary, he is Jaya Vijaya. Okay. Kumbhakarna and Ravana as the Jaya Vijaya. They had to be liberated. And he fought with them. Virya Rasa, you have to fight. And therefore, this you must understand, the purpose is that he has to establish Dharma. And these pastimes are very important for us to understand the greatness of the Lord and establishment of Dharma. Dharmic principle needs to be established. And therefore, adharmic forces has to be annihilated. Even now, Krishna is annihilating in the form of various things. For example, we have so many artistic demons in Tamil Nadu. They are all killed. They were trying to propagate that. They were trying to put garland of slippers on Lord Ram and Lord Krishna. They are all gone now. They are all suffering in some hells, 28 hells. So Krishna wants to establish Dharma, and therefore he has to do this. And therefore, he has to, it is not a question of tolerance, it's a question of establishment of dharma. At that time, if he tolerates, then adharmic will go. And what is the purpose of Krishna's appearance? Then adharmic rule prevails everywhere, then it's a problem for a whole world. And therefore, in order to establish dharma, he has to kill these people. And Krishna's killing is a mercy, thereby they become Sudrega, they become Sudrega, they become refined and they become devotees of the Lord. And that is the ultimate purpose. With Krishna's killing, Krishna's protection, both are transcendental. There is no question of finding fault with Krishna. He is anavadhyam. You cannot find fault with Krishna at all. Krishna tolerated here, but he killed Hiranyaksha also. He tolerated the insult and then he went back and killed Hiranyaksha because he was creating adharmic principles all over the world. He was taking their put in the slush. He was creating terror with Varuna. He was disturbing all the material elements in this world. So he has to stop that. So Krishna has to stop all this. Krishna appears himself as incarnation to annihilate all the devils. Paritranaya sadhuna, vinashaya diskripam. He has to do this. And this killing has to be done. And killing is a mercy for the living entities. When we kill, we are put in the jail. We don't tolerate, we want to kill somebody, then we are put in the jail. Because we are doing for whimsical. But when Krishna does, it is merciful. Because Krishna is transcendental, his killing is also transcendental, and therefore they go back to Krishna. Can you do that? You cannot do that. We cannot kill somebody and send them to Golokuritam. It's not possible. So this is my limited understanding. Tolerance is very important. As a devotee, we have to tolerate so many things. But sometimes so much adharmic is happening. Suppose, for example, regarding the dharmic, suppose you are going in the street and you see a man is trying to take a girl and rape. At the time, I am a tolerant person, I should not think about it. That is not devotee. You should go and fight with them and try to protect the girl from that. That is dharmic principle. That means you are not doing your duty. This is not tolerance. This is covered. Oh, I am a tolerant person. No. Tolerant means where there is adharmic is going on in front of you, you should go and try to correct. But you cannot kill that person, but at least prevent that. At least that's what our position is. So much of adharma is that we should raise our voice, definitely. But tolerance has no limit. Definitely tolerance has no limit. But however, we should try to, because some devotees are telling, my relatives are telling, all this we should put in our head, then it affects us. If it is really very adharmic, at that time only, we may have to take some steps. So not in all circumstances. This is my humble opinion. So we cannot tolerate everything, whatever is happening. We should raise our voice. Some cases we may have to raise our voice and tell this is not correct. Okay? Is it okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. My second question, Prabhuji, the super soul, I mean, the Bhagavan is residing as a Paramatma in all the living entities, creation of all the living entities.
Yes.
This verse, in which Shastras it is there, Prabhuji? Because in Bhagavad Gita, we refer to 7.21, but 7.21, it says that he will, Bhagavan says that he will give the benediction of whatever is being sought by the devotee to whichever devata. But ultimately, that is given by him through that devata, he says. But very often we refer to that verse. Is there any verse specifically where Bhagavan says that I am the super soul in the heart of all the living creatures?
There are two verses are there in Bhagavad Gita. And then it is there, Sarvasya Chaham Vidishani Vishno Mattasmiti Jnanam Apohancha. Vedes Sarve Raume Vedyo Vedantakrit Veda Videvicha. He says Sarvasya Chaham. Sarvasya Chaham means I am there in the heart of all the living entities as a super soul. This is Sunny Vishnu. He says I am there entering, I am there in their heart. From me comes the remembrance and forgetfulness. Okay? Of the Vedas, I am to be known. And then he says, what is that one? 1861. Sarvabhutana, Hrideshu Arjuna Tishtati. Hrideshu means I am in the heart of all the living entities. He says in the 1861 also. And then Bhagavatam, if you see, second canto, second chapter, the soul in the heart, super soul in the heart, it is mentioned. It describes how Krishna is there. There is a Prasannavatram 228, I think. Prasannavatram Narnayadesham Kadam Bekinjalka Prashanga Bhashram. Lasan Maharatna Iranmayangram Spuran Maharatna Kinir. Okay. Whatever we ask the demigods heart also Krishna is there. So they sanction also, they have to get the permission from Krishna. Ultimate sanction is coming from Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate sanctioner, supreme sanctioner. Once he sanctions, then the demigods can give the benediction to us, even if you worship the demigods. Okay? Whatever benediction you ask, whatever is entitled for you, whatever you are entitled for this material life, It will be given by you through the demigods from Krishna. Ultimately, it is coming from Krishna. Krishna has to sanction. He is the final sanctioning authority. So what they will do, we make a plea to the demigod, say Durga Mata. And Durga Mata will go to Krishna. This person is asking for this, whether he is entitled. Yes, you go ahead and give. So Krishna gives. So that's how it is done. Okay. So that's how it works. Krishna says, and there are so many verses in the Bhagavatam. No? When we wake up, there's one more verse there, 3:26:71. So Bhagavatam tells 3:26 chapter, if you read, talks about the super soul only. So when the Virata Purusha is created, which is less like a human being, it cannot activate it unless the super soul enters. Actually, without super soul, we cannot, no living entity survives in this world. Not only that, Krishna Sarva Gataha. He is all pervading. He is in the stone also. Krishna is there in the stone. Krishna is there in everything. But we cannot see that super soul in the others. He is there in everywhere. Yatha Purushottam Chumsha Pranendra Manodya. Prabhavanti Vinayana Notapati Samurasha. When a man is sleeping, all his material, namely vital energy, senses, you cannot, every day we are aroused by super soul. When we wake up in the morning, it is super soul's mercy. If the super soul doesn't have mercy, we cannot wake up in the morning. So super soul, so many purports are there. So many where Prabhupada talks about super soul. So every jiva, and therefore when the super soul tries to leave the body, the jiva will leave. Okay, what has happened? I will tell you a classic example. My uncle is a voracious eater. So what has happened in 2010? He had some stroke, recurrence of stroke. 2003 he had, and then recurrence. And then what has happened? Usually he takes 4 or 5 idlis in the morning as a breakfast. On that day, half a idli he took and then he refused. I was worried. Why? No, I don't feel like hungry. So when the living entity wants to leave the planet, the super soul directs the living entity so that don't get contaminated by prana. Truth, hunger and thirst will not hanker that living entity. So super soul decided. And then within 3 days, he left the body because the appetite goes away. So appetite goes away means the super soul decides to leave the body. Once the super soul decides to leave, the soul will leave the body. And therefore, our leaving of the body is also dependent on the super soul. So our whole existence is dependent on the super soul. Without super soul, without Krishna's pervading anything, nothing can work. So that's why, everywhere Krishna is acting. Without Krishna's sanction, not even a blade of grass can move. A blade of grass is moving because Krishna is there in that grass. That's how we have to understand. Sarva Gataha, Bhagavatam says. There are so many description of that. I will try to send you one link where there is a beautiful description of how Krishna is all pervading it all. There are some description. I think I discussed in one class also. Purusha, word Purusha is nicely described. I have tried to send you to Pant Prabhu. You can share. So there is a big description in various Puranas about the super soul, how Krishna is all pervading. There are nice pastimes also. Krishna is not only, even in the stool and urine also, Krishna is there. But he's transcendent, he's not affected. He came as a boar incarnation, but his body is transcendent, correct? Even though he comes from the nose. Nose is the naughty place where we get all the phlegm and whatnot. And during the, it is not good sneezing and all, we get all. But Krishna came through the nose, but he's transcendent. He's not affected by it. So even if we enter anywhere, he's there. Sarvagataha. Krishna's another name is Sarvagataha. He is all pervading. So he says, and this control and supervision of everything. I say, Maya Dakshina Praviti Suete Characharam. So the whole world, material world is working under his direction. Okay? That's what we have. Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, this is my last question, but again, it's related to this one, Prabhuji. Sorry, okay. I'm taking a lot of time. Varun Prabhuji, I'm extremely sorry. Prabhuji, in that case, if in case of, at the time of birth and at the time of the death, it is the first super soul which comes into the materialistic body.
No, super soul accompanies. Super soul accompanies.
Yes, accompanies.
But it does not get entangled.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Okay. So that means without the presence of super soul, our soul cannot live in that body. So the presence of super soul is very, very important.
Yes, so definitely. In all the living entities, animated
all the living entities, yes,
sentient beings.
Yes, Prabhuji. So
even in plants also it is there. Krishna is there.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. So at the time of death, when the super soul lives, it is the super soul when it leaves, the soul also follows it, because super soul knows that the soul is about to leave the body because it is no more compatible for the soul to live in the body.
So, no, actually, a very good question. Actually, what has happened? It is said that actually, I heard recently we had a discussion on this Bhagavatam. one devotee, a senior devotee, told me that the super soul, which is within your body, he will not leave you till the time you go and enter into the goal of Buddha. So even if you go as an ant, he will accompany you. The same super soul will accompany you. The same super soul, which is allotted to you, will accompany you. So what will happen? But you will not be affected by any entanglement. So your body, your soul, with the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego, you get another body. It will go, and then we will get Yatana Sarira. Yatana Sarira means the suitable body for going through all the sinful activities in hell. Once everything is finished, then Brahma and Yamaraj will decide what type of body you have to take. That body you will go, and then the super soul will also come.
Yes, Prabhuji.
It is highly inconceivable, but it is happening.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we cannot conceive with our material mind.
Yes, Prabhuji. So the question is, in this case, in today's verse, we have seen that the soul has left the body, but then again the body has retained that illumination because of the presence of super soul. So
Correct.
how it is contradicting?
No. Yes, it is, because it is not contradicting. So here what has happened? Krishna has personally touched the body of Hiranyaksha. Since he has touched, the glow is not going. Because Krishna's potency, because he is not an ordinary living entity. This Hiranyaksha demon, even though the soul has left, the super soul has given, super soul also left, but the effulgence is still there. Because both of them have left. Super soul and soul have left. But however, the effulgence doesn't go. It will go after some time, but it is not fading. Because why it is not fading is because the touch of the Supreme Lord. And that's why you have to see that's why you can see even our Maharaj body was completely cognizant. It was just alive. It was not deteriorating for 3 days. Actually, we took Maharaj. Maharaj died on 20th January 2010. Maharaj left the body. And then after 3 days only, we put that. And then they could see the body was soft. It's not becoming hard. Because Krishna is there, present there. Krishna is so happy with the body that he gives the body become transcendental, even though he left the body. The body is not material. And that's why even Prabhupada's body is not material. And it was Ramanujacharya, one of the acharyas, he left his transcendental body in Srirangam. And even today, the hair is growing from his body, from his head. There is a samadhi in Srirangam, in Trichy. You can see the hairs are there. Why? Because it is transcendental body. It's not material body. Okay? So such transcendental bodies have got a potential. They will deteriorate after some time, but it will stay for a long time. It depends on the individual living. Ramanujacharya is an incarnation of Lakshmana. So it is still there, they say. No, it's so potent that he has given the transcendental. So the body becomes transcendental. It is inconceivable. We cannot understand this. So that's why what we have to do, the more we chant the holy names, the body becomes transcendental. The body becomes transcendental means what you are not able to do before, you will do it now. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, I was not able to fast even a single day. Now, after coming to Krishna consciousness, I was able to fast because the body becomes transcendental. Even though super soul is there, the body becomes transcendental. And that's why Prabhupada slept for only 2 hours. 2 hours sleep is equal to 8 hours sleep for him. Whereas our body requires 8 hours sleep. Because his body is not material. His body becomes transcendental. Understand? So inflated glow means the body becomes transcendental. The body is not material. And that's why sannyasis' bodies are not burnt. They are kept in samadhi. You understand? Because their bodies are not material. They are transcendental. And therefore, they are kept in a samadhi. And then they did the samadhi do nicely by breaking the coconuts and all. They don't burn the body of sannyasi. That's the reason. Because their body is absorbed in Krishna consciousness, the body becomes transcendental. And in case of Hiranyaksha, his body becomes transcendental because he's non-different from Jaya Vijaya. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Dandavat pranam. Okay,
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. No, it's okay, Prabhuji. Thank you for clarifying so many questions.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very much, you and Anu Prabhu and Sham Sundar Prabhu and Rajat Prabhu for giving me an opportunity to glorify Krishna. Please forgive me for any defects. And I'm just preaching. I'm not practicing anything. I don't practice humility. I don't practice tolerance. and still going to a long way. And I pray all at your lotus feet. Please give me the mercy that one day I should get bhakti, I should get tolerance, I should become humble, and I should get the direction from Krishna like God Brahma, and also um, really serve the Lord in any capacity as a devotee, like Hiranyaksha. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. So we'll offer Vaishnava Pranam and conclude the session. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कुंज बिहारी भगवान की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे
Hare
कृष्णा।
Krishna. Thank you very